Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The sports world is buzzing, and if you thought this offseason was quiet, think again, because the legendary Von Miller has officially landed in Washington, and the capital is already shaking with anticipation. Rumors have been swirling for weeks. Whispers of meetings behind closed doors, late-night calls between agents and executives, and cryptic social media posts hinting at a seismic shift in the NFL landscape. Fans at FedEx Field have been showing up in droves, waving banners and wearing jerseys with Miller's name even before an official press conference, a clear testament to the magnetic aura that surrounds one of the most dominant linebackers of the modern era. The Commanders, a team long seeking a true superstar presence, seem to have found exactly that, a player whose resume alone intimidates quarterbacks and energizes locker rooms. Analysts are already dissecting every possible alignment, imagining Miller's impact in pass rush situations, run defense schemes, and leadership dynamics. Conversations in sports bars, podcasts, and Twitter threads are alive with speculation, some saying this move alone could tilt the NFC East balance dramatically. Miller's charisma, combined with his relentless drive, has fans envisioning late-game heroics, unforgettable sacks, and perhaps, finally, a path to the Vince Lombardi trophy, a dream that feels suddenly tangible for a franchise eager to escape years of mediocrity. The airport scene was cinematic, almost surreal, as Von Miller touched down in Washington. Cameras flashed incessantly, reporters jockeyed for the perfect angle, and the roar of fans practically shook the tarmac. Eyewitnesses described the atmosphere as electric, the kind of energy usually reserved for championship parades or historic draft days. But here it was an off-season signing igniting such fervor. Social media platforms exploded with videos, memes, and theories about Miller's first day, with hashtags trending globally within hours. The Commanders organization, sensing the cultural moment, organized an impromptu fan gathering, inviting supporters to catch a glimpse of the new defensive juggernaut. Behind the scenes, insiders claim negotiations were intense, a delicate dance of contract terms, performance incentives, and branding deals, all culminating in a deal that reportedly positions Miller as not just a player but the face of the franchise. Pundits speculate this move signals a shift in Washington's approach, prioritizing immediate championship contention over long-term rebuilding, and the ripple effects are being felt across the league. Coaches are reportedly reworking defensive schemes. Offensive coordinators are adjusting to anticipate the confidence this addition injects into the team, and opponents are suddenly recalculating their strategies. It's not just a signing. It's a statement, a bold declaration that the Commanders are here to compete, and Miller is the herald of that declaration. Whispers around the league suggest that Von Miller's influence extends far beyond the field, and the Commanders are banking on his leadership to redefine the team's culture. Players report an almost magnetic aura, a presence that demands attention and respect while simultaneously inspiring peak performance. Locker room insiders hint at impromptu meetings, strategy sessions led by Miller, and a newfound camaraderie that didn't exist prior, as younger players soak in his experience and veteran wisdom. Coaches have been seen pacing the sidelines during practice, clipboard in hand, but with a noticeably lighter demeanor, suggesting that the defensive schemes are now infused with creative possibilities previously unimagined. Analysts are speculating that Miller's signing could spark a domino effect, influencing free agency decisions, trade rumors, and even draft strategies across multiple teams. Fans are crafting jerseys, artwork, and online tributes, transforming Miller's presence into a cultural phenomenon that transcends the sport itself. Rumors swirl about potential press conferences, exclusive interviews, and community appearances that would further solidify his bond with the city and its loyal supporters. Even casual observers are feeling the buzz, checking social media hourly, debating his impact on team morale, and imagining what a fully fit, motivated Von Miller could mean in the most critical playoff moments. This is not merely a player acquisition. It's the ignition of a narrative that could define a season, a franchise, and possibly an entire city's football identity. The excitement doesn't stop at the locker room. The tactical implications of Von Miller joining the Commanders have coaches and strategists across the NFL reevaluating their game plans. Experts are already projecting defensive rotations that maximize his pass-rushing prowess, suggesting hybrid roles that blur traditional linebacker positions and force opponents into uncomfortable adjustments. Quarterbacks across the league are undoubtedly reviewing film, noting his acceleration, hand techniques, and uncanny ability to read offensive schemes in real time. Fantasy football enthusiasts are recalculating projections, with defensive stats suddenly seeming much more volatile due to Miller's potential to disrupt even the most carefully crafted plays. Commentators speculate that his presence might allow other defenders to thrive, creating double-team situations that free up teammates and fundamentally altering the dynamic of Washington's defensive front. Rumors even hint at increased involvement in special teams, a testament to his versatility and desire to impact the game in multiple dimensions. Media outlets are crafting narratives about a championship-caliber defense emerging almost overnight, sparking debates about whether the Commanders could finally make a deep playoff run. Across podcasts, the topic dominates discussions, with former players analyzing his technique, comparing eras, and building the mythology of what Miller represents. For Washington, this isn't just an addition. It's the dawn of a potentially transformative chapter, one that could reverberate across the league for seasons to come. Fans arriving at FedEx Field are reportedly treating each practice and press event like a festival, packing the stands with a fervor rarely seen for off-season activities. Tailgates are evolving into fan-organized celebrations, blending music, banners, and impromptu speeches about the glory days and hopes for the future, now seemingly tied to Von Miller's arrival. Merchandise sales have reportedly spiked, with jerseys flying off shelves faster than analysts predicted, while local businesses capitalize on the sudden surge in football tourism. City officials even note that the buzz is creating an economic ripple, with restaurants, hotels, and transportation services all benefiting from the excitement surrounding the Commanders. Social media platforms are flooded with fan reactions, memes, and countdowns to Miller's first game in the capital, demonstrating how a single acquisition can galvanize an entire community. Bloggers and influencers craft daily narratives, dissecting practice footage and projecting possible highlight reel moments, turning speculation into a continuous entertainment loop. Even rival fans admit grudging respect, acknowledging that the Commanders have just raised the stakes across the division. With every sighting, every interview, and every tactical discussion, the legend of Von Miller in Washington grows, setting expectations sky high and igniting a city desperate for a championship identity. Rumors indicate that the signing discussions were far from simple, with multiple franchises reportedly vying for Miller's talents before the Commanders sealed the deal. Insiders suggest there were late-night negotiations, intricate contract clauses, and strategic assurances designed to balance immediate performance expectations with long-term health management. The complexity of the deal underscores how highly valued Miller remains, despite an already storied career filled with accolades, Super Bowl appearances, and iconic plays. Sports journalists speculate that his willingness to join Washington signals a personal motivation beyond money, perhaps a desire to lead a team hungry for success and cement his legacy as a transformative figure. Analysts debate whether this move shifts the Commanders from a promising team to a legitimate contender, considering not just his statistical contributions, but the psychological impact of his presence on teammates and opponents alike. Conversations around training regimens, recovery protocols, and leadership workshops have all intensified, reflecting the holistic influence of a player whose impact goes far beyond mere numbers on a stat sheet. The buzz is palpable, extending to online forums, sports bars, and even casual coffee shop chatter, creating a sense of inevitability that the Commanders are on the verge of something historic, all catalyzed by Von Miller's arrival. Speculation about the first game with Von Miller on the roster is reaching fever pitch, with fans, pundits, and former players imagining how he will dominate from the first snap. Analysts paint vivid scenarios: fourth-quarter sacks, forced fumbles, clutch interceptions, and game-changing momentum swings that could define the season. Coaches are reportedly planning rotations that allow him to impact every crucial play, strategically positioning him against opposing star players and exploiting matchups that could tilt outcomes. Conversations about Miller's leadership extend to pre-game huddles, team meetings, and motivational strategies, suggesting his influence might extend beyond physical performance into shaping team psychology. Social media is alive with speculation about signature moments, iconic celebrations, and viral plays that will be replayed for years. Podcasts host debates comparing the Commanders' defense now versus in previous seasons, analyzing metrics, and projecting hypothetical wins that seemed improbable before Miller's signing. Even casual fans are feeling the narrative pull, crafting their own highlight reels and imagining an entire season punctuated by dramatic, memorable moments. The anticipation is near fever pitch, with every journalist, broadcaster, and influencer contributing to a chorus of expectation that Miller's presence could finally be the spark Washington has long sought. The entire city, it seems, is collectively holding its breath for a new era. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Inside sources hint at a ripple effect across the league, with rival teams reevaluating free agent priorities and draft strategies in light of Von Miller's arrival. Defensive coordinators are reportedly rethinking schemes, offensive lines are preparing for new challenges, and quarterbacks are studying film with renewed urgency, realizing that Miller's combination of speed, agility, and intelligence changes everything. Agents are quietly leveraging this signing to advocate for their own clients, emphasizing the strategic impact a single superstar can have on a team's trajectory. Media speculation includes not just immediate playoff implications, but the potential cultural shift within Washington itself, as Miller's presence could redefine how the franchise is perceived nationally. Analysts debate how the team's identity evolves, considering whether his leadership style encourages young players to excel or fosters intense competition that elevates overall performance. Rumors about Miller's community engagement and potential mentorship programs further fuel narratives, portraying him as not only a dominant player but a cornerstone of a broader cultural renaissance. Fans are already crafting expectations for celebratory events, local engagement, and even potential Super Bowl celebrations as the city dreams big. Across every platform, TV, radio, podcasts, and social media, the conversation centers on one name: Von Miller, the catalyst of a new Washington football era. The media frenzy continues as sports networks scramble for exclusive coverage, interviews, and behind-the-scenes access. Journalists report on every detail, from the subtle expressions during press conferences to the choice of cleats during practice, turning even the smallest observation into fodder for analysis. Commentators speculate on Miller's impact not just statistically but emotionally, suggesting his aura could energize not only the players but also a fan base hungry for a tangible championship trajectory. Social media amplifies every moment, with memes, GIFs, and reaction videos spreading instantly, reinforcing Miller's status as a cultural phenomenon. Analysts dissect potential matchups, highlighting his ability to disrupt passing lanes, pressure quarterbacks, and mentor emerging talent simultaneously. Even sports psychologists weigh in, noting the confidence boost a legendary player brings to an entire locker room, creating ripple effects that can translate into on-field performance. Podcasts run special series on Miller's arrival, inviting former players, coaches, and analysts to debate scenarios that range from the realistic to the almost mythical. Everywhere you look, the story grows, fueled by speculation, hype, and the collective imagination of fans, media, and insiders, all contributing to a narrative that positions Von Miller as the centerpiece of Washington's championship ambitions. The city itself seems to vibrate with the possibilities as anticipation for the season reaches an unprecedented level. Whispers continue about potential milestones, record-breaking plays, and defining moments that Von Miller could generate in Washington. Analysts speculate that his ability to consistently pressure quarterbacks could transform games previously considered unwinnable into dramatic victories. The locker room reportedly feels energized, with players motivated by the presence of a true legend, someone whose career accomplishments include multiple All-Pro selections and a Super Bowl MVP. Coaches are integrating him into schemes that maximize every aspect of his game, from situational blitzes to coverage assignments, while also allowing flexibility for spontaneous playmaking. Fans anticipate highlight reel sacks, game-changing forced fumbles, and leadership moments that could galvanize the team in high-pressure situations. The media buzz emphasizes that Miller's arrival is more than tactical. It's symbolic, representing a shift in expectations and signaling to the league that Washington is serious about contention. Social platforms explode with predictions, fan art, and debates, creating a continuous feedback loop of excitement. Even casual observers feel the ripple, discussing his influence at tailgates, on podcasts, and over coffee. Everywhere you look, speculation thrives, with every rumor and report magnifying the sense that a transformative season is on the horizon, driven by one of the most formidable linebackers in NFL history. Industry insiders hint that Miller's presence could redefine the NFC East hierarchy, with rival teams forced to adjust strategies, reconsider lineups, and even reevaluate coaching philosophies in response. Analysts suggest that his ability to consistently disrupt offensive schemes might pressure quarterbacks into mistakes, influencing playoff probabilities and altering the competitive landscape across multiple franchises. Discussions extend beyond pure football tactics. Miller's mentorship, charisma, and experience are cited as factors capable of fostering team cohesion, resilience, and situational intelligence during critical moments. Reports from practices describe a palpable shift in energy, with younger players striving to match his intensity and veterans inspired to elevate performance levels. Fans continue to flood social media with predictions, memes, and celebratory content, further amplifying the cultural impact of his signing. Podcasts, sports shows, and live streams dedicate hours to dissecting the implications of his arrival, from potential award campaigns to hypothetical highlight plays. Even rival fanbases grudgingly acknowledge the statement being made, admitting that Washington's roster now contains a game-changer capable of redefining a season. Behind the scenes, executives consider salary cap ramifications, branding opportunities, and long-term strategy adjustments, all centered on leveraging Miller's unique combination of skill, leadership, and star power. The buzz is relentless, a testament to the enormous impact of one transformative signing in the NFL. As Washington prepares for the season, the narrative surrounding Von Miller has transcended mere speculation, embedding itself in the collective consciousness of fans, media, and league insiders alike. Rumors now touch on potential playoff runs, defining moments, and the psychological influence his presence brings to high-pressure games. Analysts continue to break down every possible defensive scheme, predicting how Miller's impact could disrupt offensive rhythm, force turnovers, and tilt games in Washington's favor. The city itself seems electrified, with merchandise sales, social media chatter, and fan engagement reaching unprecedented levels for an off-season acquisition. Media outlets compete for exclusive content, while podcasts dissect practice footage, strategy sessions, and locker room dynamics, elevating Miller's signing to a near-mythical status. Even rival teams acknowledge that the Commanders have shifted the balance of power, forcing a reevaluation of draft priorities, roster moves, and tactical approaches. Fans eagerly anticipate his first home game, imagining highlight plays, game-defining sacks, and leadership moments that could serve as turning points in the season. Conversations about the Vince Lombardi Trophy, once speculative, now carry a tone of cautious optimism, as the combination of Miller's skills, experience, and influence fosters a sense that Washington may finally have found the missing piece to contend at the highest level. In every discussion, the energy is palpable, and the rumor mill shows no signs of slowing. The crescendo of anticipation surrounding Von Miller's debut in Washington has created an almost cinematic storyline, with every media snippet, fan reaction, and insider report contributing to a narrative of epic proportions. Analysts and commentators speculate about his influence in defining game moments, mentoring emerging talent, and reshaping the defensive identity of the Commanders. Social media platforms amplify the excitement, generating viral content, memes, and discussion threads that span the globe, illustrating the wide-reaching impact of a single superstar signing. Pundits break down potential matchups, tactical alignments, and statistical implications, imagining scenarios where Miller's presence alone could transform close games into decisive victories. Podcasts host detailed analyses, inviting former players and coaches to evaluate his leadership, conditioning, and strategic influence, painting a picture of a franchise on the cusp of a transformative season. Fans flood forums and comment sections with predictions, artistic interpretations, and chants, collectively weaving a story that goes beyond wins and losses. Local businesses capitalize on the buzz, hosting themed events, selling memorabilia, and enhancing the communal experience of football in the capital. Conversations around the Vince Lombardi Trophy, playoff runs, and historic achievements dominate virtually every discussion, establishing a climate where Miller's impact is as psychological as it is physical. The collective energy of the city, media, and fanbase signals a watershed moment, with anticipation, speculation, and excitement reaching levels rarely seen in the NFL. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.